Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into a really powerful signal that just lit up the crypto market. Seriously, it suggests a major shift is happening right now, and it's all going down while most people are still looking in the rearview mirror. It's one of those moments that just cuts right through all the noise. In the middle of a confusing market, one single piece of data came into focus and basically screamed that the game has completely changed. And believe me, there has been a lot of confusion. The market has been absolutely drowning in fear. I mean, just look at the fear and greed index. It's sitting at a chilly 28. That pretty much sums up a brutal month of falling prices and just widespread anxiety. Okay, and this is where we see this incredible contrast. On one hand, yeah, November was rough. Bitcoin dropped 20%. But on the other hand, a brand new signal has just popped up, telling us that the smart money, we're talking US institutions, is quietly stepping back into the ring.
So you're probably asking, how can we be so sure that Wall Street is buying when everyone else is so scared? Well, it all boils down to one critical, kind of under-the-radar indicator.
And that indicator is the Coinbase Premium. The easiest way to think about it is like a thermometer for Wall Street's appetite for Bitcoin. See, when the big US funds want to buy a ton of Bitcoin, they usually go through Coinbase. And if they're buying more aggressively than the rest of the world, the price on Coinbase ticks up just a little higher, and that premium turns positive. And for weeks, that thermometer was ice cold. The premium was negative. It was a crystal clear sign that US institutions were either selling or just sitting on their hands, waiting for the storm to pass. The big money was completely gone. And then, boom, the indicator flipped green. Now, this isn't just a tiny little tick upwards. This is a fundamental change in the flow of capital. It's basically the sound of Wall Street turning the faucet all the way back on. So why is this such a big deal? It's because the Coinbase Premium often acts as a leading indicator. It can signal that a market bottom is in before the general feeling changes, before the headlines catch on, and way before the fear and greed index wakes up. Smart money always moves first. So what happens when this fire hose of institutional cash starts spraying into a market that's still terrified? Well, it doesn't lift all boats equally. Instead, what it creates is chaos and a ton of opportunity, especially in the altcoin market. We are seeing a pretty violent rotation. As this new money flows into Bitcoin, some of it starts spilling over into specific altcoins. So you see something like Quant surging over 14%. Zcash is up, mostly because there's news of a potential ETF. But at the exact same time, newer, more speculative projects are bleeding out. This shows a clear flight towards what institutions see as quality projects with specific narratives they like. So let's zoom out. What's the bigger picture here? This isn't just a short-term blip. The argument is that this flood of institutional money is kicking off a brand new and very likely the final phase of this bull market. They're calling this the acceleration phase, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's that part of the cycle that's known for just manic energy, way higher volatility, and a final explosive surge as the last wave of capital rushes in, desperate not to miss out. And look, this isn't just hedge funds and trading firms anymore. The underlying trend here is a massive increase in actual corporate adoption. We've gone from just one public company holding Bitcoin on its balance sheet to over 75. That provides a huge structural tailwind for the entire market. Now, to navigate a phase this volatile, you can't just follow the headlines. You really need a dashboard of key signals. Right now, the three most important metrics to keep your eyes on are the Coinbase Premium, Bitcoin's market dominance, and, of course, the fear and greed index. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin's dominance. Right now, it's pretty high, at nearly 59%. That means new money is flowing into Bitcoin first, which makes sense. But if this number starts to drop, that's the signal that capital is starting to rotate aggressively into altcoins, and that could kick off what everyone calls an altcoin season. This rotation is going to create some very clear winners and losers. The hot sectors right now seem to be anything tied to stablecoins and real-world assets, or RWAs, which are really gaining traction with institutions. On the flip side, some of those early-stage venture-backed projects might face some serious selling pressure as their first investors look to cash out their gains. So what's the immediate playbook? Well, over the weekend, expect the market to kind of digest these moves. We'll probably see some consolidation in the current price range. Those institutional flows should provide a pretty strong floor.
But all eyes are on Monday. The launch of a spot XRP ETF by 21 shares could be the next huge catalyst. A successful launch wouldn't just be good news for XRP, it could act as the trigger that pulls a whole new wave of institutional money into the wider altcoin market.
The on-chain data is clear. The big money is making its move while fear is still everywhere. The signal has been sent and the acceleration phase might have just begun. So the only question left is, are you paying attention?